Former Taiping OCPD out on MACC bail. Imam system for Umrah visa applications cancelled. Welcome to the evening edition of News on 2. You with me, Renee Fong. A former OCPD in Taiping, Perak, who was being investigated by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC), has been released on bail. Magistrate Nurul Ashifa Rizwan ordered the 59-year-old with the rank of Assistant Commissioner to be released on a 20,000 ringgit MACC bail. Also released were the officer's 54-year-old wife and a 34-year-old businesswoman on 15,000 ringgit and 5,000 ringgit bail respectively. All three were arrested on December 7th at the Perak MACC headquarters after giving their statements into an investigation where the former OCPD was suspected of corruption and abuse of power. It is believed that the OCPD received about 70,000 ringgit in bribes from a businesswoman, which was banked into his wife's bank account. The case was being investigated under Section 16 subsection A of the MACC Act for abusing his position and receiving bribes. A disabled teenager drowned after she slipped and fell into the river at Lata Lembe Ulu Sungai Churo Raut Pahang yesterday while trying to save her sister from suffering from the same fate. Raut Police Chief Superintendent Wan Muhammad Zahari Wan Busu said Nur Diana Abdul Malik, 17, fell into the river while trying to prevent her sister, Siti Normala, 15, who is also a disabled, from falling into the river at 4:50 p.m. Wan Muhammad Zahari said the body of the Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia SPM school leaver was only retrieved from the picnic spot at 11:15 a.m. today due to strong currents yesterday. The victim was believed to have been trapped below the rocks in the river. Siti Normala, who is visually impaired, was safe. Wan Muhammad Zahari said the victim, who was from Bera, was visiting her brother in Kampung Batu Malim Raup. The victim and 13 other family members had gone to recreational park for a picnic at 3:20 p.m. yesterday. An accident involving 3 cars and a motorcycle this morning resulted in 2 people suffering serious injuries, while another 2 were slightly injured. The accident occurred at Jalan Hutan Simpan, Sungai Udang, Masjid Tanah in Malacca. It was believed that in the 8 a.m. incident, the driver of a car identified as Ubaidur Rahman, who was driving from Sungai Udang towards Masjid Tanah, lost control and skidded to the opposite lane before hitting another car. The impact caused a third car and a motorbike on the same lane to smash into the back of the second car. The accident caused a traffic congestion on both sides of the road. In confirming this, Alor Gajah Police Chief Superintendent A. Asmadi Abdul Aziz said the case is being investigated under Section 43, Subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987. An attempt to smuggle out 70,000 litres of RON 95 petrol from Labuan was foiled by a team from the Domestic Trade Cooperatives and Consumerism Ministry (KPD and KK) last Wednesday. The fuel, which was believed to have been supplied by a local company, were destined for the Tawi-Tawi Island in the Philippines using a boat, which was also seized. Labuan KPD and KK Chief Enforcement Officer Muhammad Fikri Lai Abdullah, in confirming this, said at 6:30 p.m. on December 13, the Labuan Marine Police managed to stop a boat filled with 350 plastic drums of petrol, which was on its way to the southern Philippines. The 24-year-old boat skipper, along with 7 Philippine nationals aged between 18 to 40, were arrested to facilitate investigation. Speaking to the media at the Labuan Marine Police Base, Muhammad Fikri said it was the largest haul so far this year. The dusk to dawn curfew in the waters of 7 districts under the Eastern Sabah Security Zone S-Zone, which ended at 6 p.m. today, has been extended to January 1st. Sabah Police Commissioner Datuk Ramli Din said the curfew covered the waters of Tawau, Sempurna, Kunak, Lahad Datu, Kinabatangan, Sandakan and Beluran districts. In a statement today, Datuk Ramli said the curfew requires all residents in these districts to refrain from entering the waters between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. He added the curfew period had been extended to prevent intrusion of terrorists who threaten the security of international researchers and tourists visiting the resort islands. He added the Abu Sayyaf and other militant groups in the southern Philippines have previously attempted cross-border crimes, including abductions in the area. He also said he had authorized all the relevant district police chiefs to issue permits to applicants who meet the conditions for fishing and other pressing needs in the areas under curfew. MIC is targeting to win 6 parliamentary seats in the upcoming 14th general election, GE14. Its president, Datuk Sri Dr. S. Subramaniam, is also confident that the party will be able to retain the seats it had won in the previous general election. Datuk Sri Dr. Subramaniam said MIC has also submitted its list of candidates' names for G14 to Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak for approval.
Menguruskan dan menggerakkan jentera pilihan raya di kawasan-kawasan masing-masing untuk menguruskan secara lebih baik berkaitan dengan pengundi di dalam kawasan-kawasan mereka, khususnya untuk mengenal pasti pengundi, mendapat sokongan pengundi.
He said this to reporters after attending the MIC retreat gearing towards the 14th general election program in Serdang, Selangor. The program was held to discuss how the party could optimize its resources and serve the grassroots more effectively, as well as to deliberate on how to prepare the party machinery effectively for the next general election. Coming up next, Malaysia and China collaborate on marine life preservation. The implementation of the integrated MACC monitoring system, imams for Umrah visa applications, has been cancelled a day after it was announced. Tourism and Culture Ministry Deputy Minister Datuk Mas Emriati Samsudin, in a simple note on her social media site, said the cancellation took into consideration complaints from the public and the relevant stakeholders in the industry. Datuk Mas Emriati announced the introduction of the system yesterday in a bid to better manage the Umrah pilgrims, beef up its regulatory management system, as well as snuff out the errant operators. In the announcement, the Umrah Regulatory Management Council has made it mandatory for all 65 travel agencies accorded with the Muassas Umrah special license to adopt and comply with imams effective December 15th. The implementation of imams involves charges amounting to 90 ringgit and 10 cents, including GST. The Umrah and Hajj Tourism Agencies Association, PAPOT, said the sum which covered the system's costs, takaful, insurance and goods and services tax GST for each pilgrim was unreasonable and should be reduced. The Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, MOSTI, and China are collaborating in an effort to protect the existing biodiversity and the integrity of the marine ecosystem in the South China Sea. To this end, China, through its State Oceanic Administration SOA on their part, has contributed a sum of 400,000 ringgit to kickstart the joint research program. Deputy MOSTI Minister Datuk Dr. Abu Bakar Muhammad Dia said the scientific cooperation involved the current state of the South China Sea, which include environmental protection, protecting maritime rights and organising scientific and technical researches. The collaboration also include the exchange of data between SOA and the Malaysian Meteorological Department.
Mereka ada kapal tu, kapal penyelidikan tengah laut ni. So they're very serious kerana China mempunyai kelautan yang besar kan. Jadi dia koordinate semua negara-negara yang ada laut hari ini bawa datang sini untuk join tengok apa yang kita boleh share tentang laut, apa yang boleh kita share tentang pantai, apa kita share tentang cuaca, apa yang kita boleh share, apa isi dalam laut itu, apa future yang kita dapat. So, polisi tentang laut kebanyakannya dilihat di forum ini.
Datuk Dr. Abu Bakar said this after officiating the 5th ASEAN-China Maritime Cooperation Forum in Kuala Lumpur today. The employment insurance system will be implemented in January 2018 once it is approved by the Dewan Negara and ratified by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Speaking in Kuching today, Human Resources Minister Datuk Sri Richard Riot said the employment insurance system bill will be tabled at the Dewan Negara on Monday. Although the employment insurance system was opposed by most employers, the scheme was needed to ensure social safety net for employees should they be retrenched from their jobs. The employment insurance system will ensure that private sector employees receive a temporary 6-month remuneration to cushion the blow of losing their jobs in the interim period. Datuk Sri Richard said the employment insurance system would see a 0.4% contribution from the insured pay, namely 0.2% each from employers and employees. The Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, today spent time to get a closer look at the rail facilities run by Prasanna Malaysia Berhad Prasarana. He took rides on the light rail transit LRT, mass rapid transit MRT and monorail. Sultan Sharafuddin arrived at the Glenmarie LRT station at 10 a.m. accompanied by Tengku Permaisuri Selangor, Tengku Permaisuri Norashikin. The royal couple were welcomed by Prasarana Chairman Tan Sri Khalid Abu Bakar and his Chief Executive Officer Datuk Sri Azmi Abdul Aziz. The entourage boarded the LRT to KL Central before shifting to Sungai Buloh Kajang MRT route at the National Museum MRT station. The entourage then boarded the MRT train to the Stadium Kajang MRT station. Thereafter had lunch at Kajang's popular Haji Samsuri Satay Kajang restaurant. In our top story, Imam's system for Umrah visa applications cancelled. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Renee Fong. Thanks for watching and have a pleasant evening.